I'm learning that the future is really a lot about you. It's not about a lot anything else. It's about how you conduct time and space and understand you. It's you may think it's about your job or your children or your spouse or your husband or your, whatever the case may be, but it's not. It's about you. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Visualize with Vik series. We're starting these now, and I thought I'd do it because I'm a little bit of a visionary. I've come to the point of understanding what one of my true gifts are, and that's the ability to sort of look a little bit forward. And not only is it something that I can do, it's also something that I really enjoy. I enjoyed joining the dots of today to give me a sense of a picture of what tomorrow may look like. And I thought it would be important for me to start this series so that I can impart just a little bit of, some of the things that I've been thinking about that really talk to how you can visualize for yourself what your future can look like, but also just how to encourage you to create heightened levels of expectation. And expectation is always about things that are going to happen or about to happen, or things that you're anticipating to happen. And that's going to be the subject of conversation for me today, because I think expectation is something that we're missing. And there are a number of reasons. I mean, obviously, we've gone through quite a serious couple of years of challenges with these pandemic, and hey, expectation goes out the window when one is faced with the kind of difficulties that we've had. But nevertheless, it's important for us to continue to anticipate with heightened levels of excitement and optimism what the future may hold. Otherwise, what are we doing? So expectation is something that I find really interesting, and I follow Abraham Hicks, and Abraham Hicks actually described expectation in a really powerful way. And it said, expectation is when desire and belief meet. And I think that's quite powerful. And if we unpack that a little bit, this construct of desire is something that is always ongoing. We as human beings, as individuals, are consistently trying to desire new things, or invariably desire new things. We are always on a quest for something new, whatever it is that we have aspirations for. The closer it becomes, and the more we get it, the more we move on. I remember when in my younger days, I could survive with the salary that I had then and aspired to a salary that I could have. And when I got there, I was already aspiring to something else. And it happens, whether it's the car that you aspire to that then requires you or enables you to aspire to the next thing. That's desire. Desire is a constant thread of hope that you create for yourself of things that you want to have, or things that you want to achieve. That almost happens naturally. There's no real difficulty in that, and most people can assimilate this construct of desire. But when we then look at belief is interesting, because we say that expectation is when desire and belief meet. Belief is something that is not as easy as desire. Belief is something that is always interrupted by that neighbor of belief called doubt. Belief is always tripped over by that old parent of belief called fear. Those family, friends, and members and neighbors come around and impact this thing called belief in a real way. Because when you think about it, a lot of the fear that you have, and a lot of the doubt that you have, and a lot of the uncertainty that you have, and a lot of the pessimism that you have is not necessarily ingrained in you. It's things that you've experienced. It's things that people have said. And as I say, parents have an amazing ability to, whether deliberately or not deliberately, impart some of these things to their young children as they grow up, so they become embedded in that. And therefore, belief is something you need to work on. And what is belief in? And I don't want to get too contextualized around these, religious or spiritual issues. I want you to understand from my perspective that belief is belief in you. You have to believe in you. And I think that sums up everything else. If you believe in you, you believe in whichever God that you actually believe in. Because you're created very specifically for a role, for a task, for something that you have, something that you give, something that you can offer. And that is something that you have to believe in. And the challenge is that when you're a musician or a writer or a painter or an engineer, the challenge is that sometimes whatever circumstances that are around you, and it's all these neighbors and family members, etc., they impart doubt into whether or not only are you that, but are you able to fulfill that or meet that or reach that? So belief is something that we need to work on. Because if you want to get those heightened levels of expectation, belief and desire have to meet. So how do you work on belief? And I have traveled a journey to try and figure this out in a way that resonates with me. And it's a lot of things. It's spending time with yourself and how you spend time with yourself. It's listening to you. It's learning to trust. And trust, I think, is a core component in all this. Learning to trust you. It's learning to trust the instinct. It's learning to trust the feeling. It's learning to interpret that feeling and trust that interpretation. It's giving space and time to you and not being the busy person that is consistently just embroiled in their environment and never succumbs to themselves. And it's being honest with you. It's being honest with yourself. And I think that is not something that you overcome overnight. I've also learned that that is something that is lifelong. It's ongoing. It's a strength. It's like, those bodybuilders. It's you get strong, yes, but you can get stronger, yes, and you can get even stronger than that, yes. So it's about the consistency of being able to utilize that capability of actually getting to be a better version of who you are by all those things that I've mentioned a little bit earlier on. And as you do that, those two things together, I'm not saying there's an end state. As you do that, these levels of expectation start filtering their way through. There's no end state. It's not at a certain point, then you get expectation. You can get expectation tomorrow by purely how you feel today in terms of your sense of belief at this moment with that desire, and you get that sensation. It's those goose pimples that come up, on you, goosebumps rather, that come up on you. It's that sense that you get that, oh, I need to do this because somehow you've just got that enlightenment about something that needs to be done. All those things come together to play that role in helping you not only believe, but also create that desire and then have those heightened levels of expectation. So how do I end off? I end off by saying that I'm learning that the future is really a lot about you. It's not about anything else. It's about how you conduct time and space and understand you. You may think it's about your job or your children or your spouse or your husband or your, whatever the case may be, but it's not. It's about you. And working on you is a lifelong process. And not just as a once-off and assuming that now that I've done it, I'll be okay. But think about everything else in life. If you're an athlete, you need to train every day to maintain whatever it is. And if you want to get stronger, you just need to train even harder. Everything is a consistent process of learning. So go out there, create your heightened levels of expectation, believe in you. Those desires, we'll talk about how those desires are attracted to you, as opposed to you feeling that you have to work only towards them, by pure belief and the power of the magnetic element of belief. Visualize with Vik. Please subscribe, please send comments, and let us know what it is that you and I can talk about a bit more. Thanks very much.